practical steps that guys can take definitely to move on, Axel, is just going out there and dating. Now, for me, I feel like every guy is a bit subjective in terms of like what's their healing process like. I don't necessarily believe that a healing process means that I have to hide myself in my bedroom for the next 30 days and not talk to anyone just because I broke up with my ex-girlfriend or she broke up with me or whatever the case may be for any client, right? Mm-hmm. You know, when I broke up with my ex, like I just immediately started dating and I went on Bumble and I just started swiping and I was like, hey, you know, what am I supposed to do? Like, am I supposed to?
Yeah, you're crazy on that, Cameron. When you told me that, I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's crazy. For me, I'm the opposite. For me, like, when something like that happens, I do need to go. Like,
no, but why though?
Myself.
Why do? But and what?
I think it's
what
just
is
my personality?
Okay, so it's a personality thing, right?
Yes.
So it's unique to you, right? And I'm not, and I'm not saying you're judging me or I'm judging you or anything like that, right? Like for me, let's look at it from this perspective, right? If you want to present a documentary that you create, because you're a filmmaker, mm-hmm. you present a documentary to a film festival and they say no. I mean, are you going to go like lock yourself up in your room in like 30 days and say like, no, I'm not going to do it? Or are you just going to go out there and say, well, okay, you don't want to work with me. I'm going to go find someone who's more compatible for me.
You are 100% right.
Right? So it's the same thing with women. Like, why should women be any different from filming? And here's the thing. It's not that Netflix said no to you. If let's say Netflix, didn't
they
reject it.
They actually said no to me on my first movie, and I did find distribution somewhere else.
Right.
And now we're right here. They said yes now.
Here we are now, Netflix, right? So it was not the company itself that said no to you. It was the studio directors or the head of the studio or whoever it was that said no to you, right? Mm-hmm. So that person just didn't see you as a compatible fit, right? And that's the same thing like when it comes to a breakup. When a woman has like told you that she doesn't want to be with you anymore, or you realize that this woman is not compatible for you, then the next thing to do is to just go out there and start dating. But I think what's really disastrous for guys, I think it really depends on the guy's situation, because there are men who, let's say, are pathological liars and men who are very deceitful, manipulative. Those guys should not go date other women.
Well, no, if you're a piece of shit, you need to go fix your life first, like before you go ruining someone else's life.
Absolutely. So let's use the example, a guy is very authentic and he's a genuinely a good person, right? If that guy has broken up, I don't believe him locking himself in a room and closing his blinds and eating ice cream and ordering DoorDash like 10 days in a row
100%,
is good.
I would not say that. But I also wouldn't say go out and start dating like the crazy way that you go about it. What I would recommend is go and focus on yourself. Like take some time, and that time varies person to person. Take some time, lock yourself in a room and process what just happened so it doesn't happen again. Or the next person that you are in a relationship with, you can bring all of this knowledge and actually know why it didn't work out before. Let's say, however, you have to do your own work to get to whatever peace of mind you need to find. But I would either write down or try to think about what are the key things that didn't work. Maybe this person didn't respect me, or maybe this person didn't share the same future goals and values that I have for my life, so we're just not compatible. So now I know whenever I find my next relationship, from the beginning, you can go straight to the point. Is she going to value my goals and my dreams? Yes or no? And it's not a good thing or a bad thing. Sometimes you're just not compatible. For example, your plans that you have for your life have nothing to do with the plans that I have for my life, because we want completely different things, but we're still friends. It doesn't mean that you're wrong and I'm right, or vice versa. It just means you're not compatible. Having a woman that is compatible with your goals and the lifestyle that you want to live in the future is key. You cannot make it work if you don't have that. So make sure that you know what those things are. And then I'll just dedicate time to you, like level yourself up and just focus on you for a while. Don't go start dating right away. But the time that should take, I think it depends on the person.
Right.
But you're crazy. You're just like...
Well, here's the thing. So let's use me as context, right? Like, why was I able to, able to move so quickly? I had mentors in my life, right? So I wasn't born with this like dating coaching skills. Like obviously I was born with some charm. I was born with some level of confidence. I was born with some level of understanding of myself, right? And my own level of what I thought was peace and happiness. But then I went through the whole series. This is back when I was like super into the Red Pill community and everything. I had mentors. They were not the best mentors, but they did help me. And I have to give them credit for helping me to a degree. But then I found like other mentors in my life that really were like the true masculinity mentors that I was looking for. And they helped me overcome the seeking validation, seeking approval, and people pleasing aspect of my life that I was like, doing a lot. So so here's the thing, you mentioned that it's subjective in terms of how fast a guy can move on and work on himself, right? So one of the biggest things I hear all the time from guys are like, oh, I'm gonna work on myself before I move on and find another girl. And I tell them, well, do you understand that if you have a mentor, here's the key, a mentor that you can talk to, right? You cut your lead time significantly. So why should it's like me saying, okay, I'm fat right now and I need to go and I need to work on myself and build a better physique. Okay, so I'm not gonna go on YouTube, I'm not gonna call someone, I'm not gonna ask my friends who are like, let's say, fitness experts or coaches, or find someone online to work with. I'm just gonna work on myself and just do this on my own. But then you're wasting your time. Like I don't like my time to be wasted, right? So I wanna know, Axel, I wanna know the answers to life fast. I'm not the kind of guy that likes to jerk around and wait for things, right? So if I've been rejected in any aspect of my life, I wanna know why I got rejected. I wanna know fast. So then I could correct it immediately and move on. So the reason for me I was able to move on from my past relationship is because I had mentors like in my background helping me get through the healing process, right? So of course I had to heal, but I realized again, I put in this perspective that life is way too short to cry and to like be sad and depressed or whatever. I think every man is entitled to feel some level of like, anxiety or, I don't say you should go in a state of depression, but you should feel like, a little overwhelmed and sad that something has happened because you shared a pretty tremendous amount of time with that person, if you did, right, with that woman. But again, peace and happiness, and when I'm talking about happiness, right, because you're mentioning like your definition of happiness, how peace is more important. When I talk about peace and happiness, I'm talking about internal peace and happiness, right? So like me, for example, not having a Rolls Royce right now, I'm okay, I'm still happy, right? I'm blessed with the car that I drive right now, and I'm blessed to be able to fly anywhere I want, right? So I'm blessed with the simple things like you mentioned, coming from Cuba, right? I mean, I'm born in America, but I'm Iranian, and I know there are a lot of people in Iran right now that are suffering from the government, they're suffering from all aspects, from like inflation, it's crazy over there right now. So I'm very blessed, and I have a lot of gratitude for what goes on in my life. Now, Axel, if you have a lot of gratitude, for all the guys who are watching this, like if you just express yourself with a lot of gratitude and you're just blessed and you're present with like what's going on in your life right now. If a business rejects you, you don't get the job that you're looking for, if a woman rejects you, like if you approach her at the coffee shop, she says, no, I'm not interested, you cannot allow that to dictate your identity. You cannot allow that to dictate your peace and happiness. Like, why would you? That's just one person. And here's another thing too, Axel, check this out. For the guys who are afraid of rejection, right? They approach a woman and the woman says like, no, I'm not interested in you, right? And they're like, oh my God, I'm disappointed, I'm pissed, no girl likes me. I say, okay, let me ask you a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much does that girl really know you? 10 being a lot, 1 being that she barely knows you. And they usually say it's a 0 or it's like a 0.5, or they never say it's like a 3, right? I said, yeah, you talked to her for let's say 5 to 10 seconds, right? They're like, yeah. So I said, do you think that she knows your whole character and knows your whole personality? He will say no. Say, okay, so then why should you even judge her and place judgment on yourself because she said no to you? She only knows a little bit about you. Don't women have the right to say no to you? Well, yeah, of course. There you go, that's liberation right there. Yeah. So that's how you can move on from situations really fast. Like, it should be simple. Life is simple, but it's overcomplicated when we don't have mentors in our life. Because I know you have mentors for sure, right? I mean, both you and I are very ambitious. We're very outgoing and we're very resilient. And what has made us the men that we are today is because we have mentors in our life. And of course, we put in the work through our mentors' advice to get to where we are now.